Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Gym Bros podcast with myself, Bryn and Paul.
How are we doing?
Okay.
How are we doing?
Good. So obviously we're going to talk about bodybuilding, and I know we've mentioned it before, but obviously it's a bit prevalent at the moment.
We love bodybuilding.
We love it, obviously. We love it. And
You love
Bryn does
bodybuilding.
too.
I love eating.
What, eating bodybuilders?
Eating bodybuilders.
I'm just too damn big.
So obviously the season is now coming to an end. So we just thought we'd sort of look back on like the year and just look back on kind of, because there's been a lot of shows recently. And my sort of thing was like looking at how standards have sort of dropped. Is a personal opinion. Standards have kind of just dropped. And I know I said on a previous podcast that, what did I say? That everyone should compete, but you should always put everything.
Yeah. Credit where credit's due. These people put in a lot
Do you know
of
what I
hard
mean?
work to get on
They
stage.
put in a lot of hard work, but I just think that, like my coach wouldn't let me step on stage if I wasn't good, because I am his product. I'm his advertisement.
You're a representation of his work.
So he wouldn't. He'd be like, no chance. He'd be like, if you want to do it, that's fine, but you don't do it under my name. And I know he'd say that to me, and I just feel like some people, I don't know, they just. I just feel like you could have give it more.
Talk about your own, because we spoke about this in a week.
Yeah.
Leading up to us. So talk about your example, because it's it's not a negative thing.
I don't want to put people down because I'm not into fucking body shaming. Like, I don't want to do that. But obviously, if you're putting yourself on a bodybuilding stage, you're opening yourself up to critique. And I know. So my example was I've seen a wellness category, and obviously wellness category is like it's big defined legs in women. And
So if you don't know, if anyone that doesn't know what wellness is, do you want to explain what it is?
Well,
There's
so
people that don't know what it is. It's quite new.
There's
as
so
well.
many categories for women now, but wellness is one of the categories. And I'm not an expert on it because I don't know, but I know it's kind of a larger leg, glutes, but still defined, still lean, there's still diet and everything, skinny waist, and then like sort of more muscular.
Yeah.
So I think it's a bit more muscular than bikini and like figure.
So
like,
it's more muscular than bikini, but not as muscular as women's physique. So it kind of falls in there. It's this kind of
Like an athletic look.
no, not athletic. It's more like we'll get an image put up.
one of the pros will get an image of one of the
I'll
pros.
tell you what's a good example of wellness: the way that the people are perceiving the Brazilian look.
Yeah.
The slightly larger thighs, the bigger glutes, the nice toned abs, the little toned waist, defined shoulders.
But these women are toned. Like, these women diet. These women look.
They train
toned.
hard.
They still look feminine, but they look like they fucking train. They're not just like. I feel like it's for some people. I fucking don't want to get on it, but I just feel like for some women, they're like, I'm a bit bigger, so I'm going to do wellness because I'm too big for bikini. But like these women are athletes still. They still train really hard.
They're overdeveloping their lower body.
Yeah.
Like I think what you're getting at is some of the girls that you've seen on stage they're a bit curvier, and they've gone, I'm going to do that because I'm a bit bigger, not because they've developed their legs and the glutes,
just because they've got big legs,
just because they're a bit curvier and they might have a little bit of a belly or.
So it's like but if they dieted down, they might be a bikini. If they really put effort into dieting and took the fat off, maybe they would look wellness. Maybe they would. But I just think that, and I don't want to like diss people, but you shouldn't be stepping on stage being wobbly. For men and women, fucking both categories, you shouldn't be stepping on stage wobbly. Like, the idea is that you're tight. You know what I mean? You're lean. You've just done a fucking, 5-month prep or whatever you've just done. And I just think, like you said before, it's become a bit of a fashion to bodybuild, to do at least a show. Do you know what I mean? It's become a bit of a fashion statement. But even if it is a one-time thing that you don't plan on doing again, you just want to do it for a milestone in your life, or you were a fat person, now you're like, fuck it, I'm going to just sort my shit out, I'm going to do a bodybuilding show. You should still put everything into it. You should still put like max effort and look at the criteria what you're going to be judged on. Otherwise, if you're not, you may as well just go and do a photo shoot. You may as well just get super lean and just do a photo shoot and just look insane on a photo shoot, instead of having this like comparison, this like mental battle, which some people have. But yeah, I don't know, and like posing's a fucking big one. And I know there's loads of other guys out there and women that will agree that people just don't put enough time and effort into their posing. And this isn't on just the amateur stage. This is on like the pro stage as well. Like, do you know what I mean? I'll fucking come at you with posing. Why spend months and months of your life dedicating to your diet and your training, only to not be able to show it on stage.
Yeah, the whole
It's
point
like-
of getting on stage is to and
Yeah,
posing is to show
posing-
your physique
posing
at
like-
its best.
It's like spending 20 million on an F1 car and fucking a couple of grand on your suit and not being able to drive. What's the point? There's no point. You can't, like, the whole point of being on stage is to show your physique. And if you can't show it because you don't know how to, then
You're letting yourself down.
it's just fucking pointless.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's like a half-staff attempt,
yeah,
isn't it?
it's like you only been able to lift 60 kilos.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point?
But
You know what I
still
mean?
eating as much
But
as
you're still, but you, exactly, but you're still this big fucking
Yeah.
dude. So I just think, like, for me, the biggest thing for me, like, really, is I fucking posing. Like, I love posing. I don't post enough about it. I know I don't, but I fucking love posing. I've got a load of clients that I love to work with. So if you are struggling with posing, then fucking hit me up. Yeah, but seriously though,
And I'll watch your pose.
oh, your Bryn will sit in the background, but being weird.
Don't need to add any more to that. Don't need to add any more to that.
His chicken in the background eating his KFC, watching men in their pants.
Oh my god.
Fucking taking shots, are we?
So
Not
yeah.
taking shots if it's the truth.
I don't like KFC. I don't. I really don't.
What
Gives
do you
me
eat
food
then?
Poisoning.
What do you eat then?
4 times. 4 times I've had KFC in the last year, and I've had food poisoning every time. Not going to mention which one. Tunstall.
Do you know what I would do? Stop going to Tunstall.
Just go to another one.
I've not been in 6 months. Well, you've just said, oh, he's having fucking KFC. Sitting there watching fucking half-naked men pose. Moving on.
So yeah.
Why have you just you've been there teaching them how to pose?
But seriously though, like posing for me, like I love posing, and I know at a lower level it doesn't get marked as much. Like your routine doesn't get marked at a lower level, but your mandatories do. Like people will, your mandatories are like you know when you do front double bicep all that sort of thing for men. But like your quarter turns are the first thing that the judges see, and people just can't fucking do it. They can't do. They look weird, or like any good poser won't be shaking. They don't shake, like, because you don't need to. You can only tense your fucking muscle so much before nothing happens. And if you sweat too much, you'll water out and you'll just look a bit weird anyway. So, yeah, fucking
So there's an art to it. Embrace the art. Don't be
yeah.
art fast.
Look, like you haven't got to be an expert, but don't neglect posing. Don't 2 weeks before decide I'm going to put a routine together. I'm going to start losing. I'm going to start learning how to pose, because ultimately that's what you're going to do. Like you could have the best physique, but if you don't know how to show it, then
True.
it's a bit pointless, really.
True.
Like because at a higher level, like they will mark your posing. Do you know what I mean? Like some federations mark your tan, they mark like your stage presence, how you are. Like they mark everything. So you have to be the whole package. You can't just be the biggest, and you can't just be the leanest. You have to have stage presence. You have to have, and obviously I know my first show, I don't really remember it because it was such a blur. And I wasn't the leanest on my first show, but I give it everything what I could, and I put time and effort into everything what I could. And I wasn't the leanest, but my next show was better, and then my next show was better. But you've still got, I don't know. I just feel like now sometimes you see a lineup and you're like winner second. It's easy now to spot people, especially on the lower, the sort of more
Looking at it, like I think we've covered it before. I think it's great to see so many people embracing bodybuilding in all its forms and shapes. But I do feel like it is for some people becoming a bit of a fashion, like a fad. And I do feel like that it's being sometimes diluted. The prestige of winning these titles is being diluted a little bit. We've discussed it before about like IFBB Pro cards. There used to be one IFBB Pro card a year.
It's quite 20 odd now, no?
And there's like some shows will have 20 in a show, not even in a year. And then there's other federations that have popped up, and they then have their own their pro cards and their own divisions. And so it's kind of,
It's almost not an achievement anymore.
yeah. And and I get it, and I do see it. And like I say, it's getting the sport to more people. It's getting it out there.
But the quality is diluted.
Yeah, because, okay, so you do a show with Bryn Federation and you win your show, and then they give you a Bryn Pro card, and then you're only going to compete against other Bryn Pros. That Bryn Pro card means nothing in Josh's federation. So what does it actually mean? You're the best.
Fuck your federation, bro.
What's wrong with my federation?
Fuck your federation. People can't pose in yours.
Everyone can pose in my federation. People are big ginger cunts.
People just sit in the back of a room eating KFC at night.
So do you know it kind of has these creation of these other pro cards? Is it having a detrimental effect on the sport in terms of taking the prestige away from the big?
I think the smaller ones, like if you're PCA is like a big federation in the UK. They're massive, and they are branching out. And I think like PCA and like the IFBB in the UK, like, they're pretty big, obviously. But IFBB obviously gets you like into the Olympia. You know what I mean? You win a pro card, then you win a pro show, you get an automatic entry into the Olympia. But there are some little ones, and it's like people posting about them, and I'm just like, yeah, but it's an achievement. But then anybody who really is a competitive person, in a way, will go to these bigger. We'll go to the PCA. We'll go to Two Bros. Do you know what I mean? They'll go to these federations. I just think like, go and put yourself up against. Don't be posting I'm a world champion. Who though?
I remember seeing someone posting up that they'd won a world championship in a federation, and I was like, this guy never competed before. He's never stepped on stage before. He's become a world champion. And then I looked at what it's done, and it was just like a local show. Like a local show in like Peterborough or somewhere, and they'd give him this world, and I was like,
that's what people get.
And I'd like, okay, no, not taking anything away from the fact that you've prepped yourself and you've gone and done this show and everything, but you're putting all over social media that you're a world champion from a show that does one show from a federation that no one's ever heard of. Like, that's not really a.
I don't.
That's like me saying,
Peterborough.
yeah. I played
world
F1 on my Xbox last night and I won the world championship. Does that make me an F1 world champion? No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I feel like for me, if I was doing some little warm up shows, I wouldn't post about them. Like, I wouldn't post that I won this pro card in a federation that people haven't heard of. Not to diss them, but to me, it's like, that doesn't really affect me. But if it was something that really mattered, I'd be like, okay, yeah. But people are like, oh, I've got 12 golds.
Yeah.
Where?
Do you know what though, mate? It could come down to anything. Like you're saying, the neglecting posing. It could come down to anything. It could come down to that their lives are 10 times busier than we think. You know, what is the end goal from 95% of bodybuilders? To get a pro card. Well, why do they want a pro card? To go to the Olympia? Bullshit. It's to literally online coach, make as much fucking money as they can, get on a few fucking shit Instagram videos with these other legit influencers. Yeah. Mate, if you said to anyone that was going to the Olympia, I'll give you £10 million now or win the Olympia, which do you want?
So 10 million.
10 million. No one gives a fuck about the Olympia title, mate.
Well, what do you get in strongman? You get the guys that never go out of the trophy hunters was the one. In strongman, don't you? They get the trophy. They never come out of their weight class. They never go up from an amateur level because all they want to do is compete.
Just trophy hunt.
Just trophy hunt.
Yeah.
So they go in and they're posting, I'm doing this competition this weekend. Yeah, you did that one last year. You know, Preston's strongest man, and you know all that kind of.
Got now is in today's world, it's less about titles and more about public opinion.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So like potentially you could look at a lot of people and be like, in strongman for example, well, you've never won world's strongest man. Yeah, but I won fucking everything else, and I won it more times than all these fuckers put together. He's only won one. So for example, like I remember an argument between Eddie Hall and Thor Bjornsson. And it's like, how many titles have you won? Well, how many titles have you won? Well, I've won all these fucking things. How many have you won, Eddie? Well, I've won one world's strongest man. Well, how many have you won? Well, I've won one. So we're the same.
Yeah.
No, we're not though. Because I fucking won all these titles and you haven't. Yeah, but no one gives a fuck about them titles. And this is the thing. It's like, well, I think what is actually put upon that title? Like, how much credit is given for that?
Yeah, what's the emphasis? What's the credibility to it?
Credibility for that title? Like you're saying PCA and IFBB. Obviously, these mean nothing to me. I know what the Olympia is. I know what the Arnold Classic is.
ABC and DEF.
I'm not like naive to it all. I know roughly that because obviously I've seen all the documentaries like Generation I and all that stuff. Yeah. So I know what the Olympia is. I know what the Arnold Classic is. But for me, they're the two biggest shows of the year. But if some guy was to come along, say for example, Paul was to come along with the Yarwood Federation, I'm going to give you £4 million for the fucking winner. Is anyone going to the Olympia or are they going to the fucking Yarwood
Going
show?
to fucking Paul, aren't
they?
Yeah.
And he's going to get fucked on a dick
But I think people. I don't know. It sounds dead fucking bitchy, but I feel like if you're boasting that you're British champion in a nothing federation and you've gone up against like nobodies, but you're an incredible athlete and you've stepped on stage with these good people and you've done well, but then you've gone, oh, I haven't done well there, so I'm going to go on to these lower level shows and I'm going to then post that I'm world champion, I'm going to post that I'm British champ. Like, yeah, but you're not, you've just fucking gone into a low level show which you know you're going to win, and you're probably not put that much effort into it because you know you're going to win it, because you know anybody that's going to turn up there isn't going to be like in incredible sort of shape. But that sounds bitchy as fuck, but yeah. Fuck 'em.
No, but what you're highlighting is basically, you know, why put all this effort in but then neglect something that's actually just as important. Like you say, somebody could look phenomenal, someone could be an amazing poser. The amazing poser, as long as he's got a bang average physique for stage, is always going to beat that one, because he's going to get marked down so much for shit posing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's one of the things that when I watched Generation I and it got highlighted, do you know what I mean? That posing is a massive part.
Posing's been lost.
Yeah.
Like, there's people that, so like John Lofthouse, love that guy. He's a great poser. He does all right in his shows, but he's a phenomenal like the guy's incredible. Look at like Rough Diesel. Do you know what I mean? The guy's a little fucking black guy, the classic. Great poser, puts together these works of art for routines. I'm just like, why can't people just see it? And but then people get on stage and it looks like they've never done it before. Like they've never done it. Yeah, but that is literally what you have to do now. All your hard work now is done. You can do no more. But you now have to present your physique on stage
Best possible.
in the best possible way, whether that's physique, whether that's classic, whether that's open, whatever, for me, whatever. And if you don't know how to pose, or you don't pose properly, or you've not done it enough, because posing is fucking hard. Make no bones about it. Posing is really, really hard. And some shows will work you. Like they'll bring you back out, they bring you out and they bring you back. So you're going through your mandatories 3-4 times. And if you've not carved up properly, like I went hypo my first show, I didn't have enough food in me, and I was posing, nerves, adrenaline, and I just like come off stage and I was like, oh, like it's gone. Do you know what I mean? Saved by some squares bars.
I remember Phil Leaf doing that.
Yeah.
Even
Loads of bodybuilders do. If they haven't done things properly, and because you're so depleted, and then you're sweating, and you'll just go.
You've got to condition yourself, haven't you?
Yeah.
So I remember speaking to another guy we've had on here, Joe. Pierce, when we had him on here. I've had a conversation with him before. Obviously, I've no interest in bodybuilding, as you can see. You know, but I remember talking to him and I said, "How do you do that for so long?" Because even when I've tensed in the past, obviously not for posing or anything, but even just to for whatever reason.
When he's chatting up the girls in Sainsbury's.
No, when he's fucking beating his mate, any
Aldi, actually. I'm not going to say it's too expensive.
And watch out for them guys on the bread counter as well. Just in on the bread.
You don't have a bread counter at Aldi.
Sainsbury's.
Aldi.
Sainsbury's.
Told you I shop at Aldi.
Go Sainsbury's.
No.
I just want to. Aldi.
So yeah, when I spoke to him about that, I was saying, how do you deal with cramp and stuff like that? And he's like, if you're cramping up on stage, there's no way you're conditioned enough. Like, you need to be putting them long, hard sessions of posing and stuff like that.
Like, I've got a guy at the moment to compete next year, and I'm seeing him like every month now for an hour. That's what he should be doing.
Yeah.
He sees me like every month for an hour. That's all he gets.
Well, he's probably still practicing away.
But he still practices in between those, and like, I'm like, right, so we'll go through this and we go through this and we work on it more and more. Do you know what I mean? So like the first session was just going through like everything as a whole. Then it's just fine tuning things. Then it's like putting transitions in. Do you know what I mean? Just fine tuning things so he finds his flow. And one pose for one person might not work for the other person.
Exactly,
but I just think like that's all you've got to do then. As soon as you've done all that hard work of dieting, then if you can't show this amazing physique what you've just created, then it's a bit fucking pointless, isn't it?
Yeah, it is lazy.
It's like what you said, like you eating all the food that you're supposed to eat, but not lifting.
Well, it's like, doing all the training I'm doing, and then someone goes, well, perform a log lift. Oh, I've done that before.
Yeah.
Why? What the fuck are you doing here? Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
So I just think that
it's like being a strongman that only does static events, really.
I don't go into that subject.
Don't know any of them, do we?
We can talk about that afterwards. But yeah, I think for me personally, obviously, like condition, you can get in great condition given enough time. Sometimes you might not have enough time. Sometimes your body will only get so lean the first time you diet. Like my body got leaner the older I got and the more I dieted. And every show you will get better. So condition is what it is sometimes. So I understand that, but posing is thing that just always grips me. Like if you're struggling with it, just fucking message me. I won't even charge you. Like I'll just help, because I feel like if you come into a show and you're struggling with things, or your coach isn't that great of a poser, like my coach.
Message Josh.
Like my coach he does physique, so he might not be the best at doing like men's poses. He knows what they are. He's not an idiot, but he might not be the best at fine tuning things. So he'll be like, right, go and see Josh, or go and see. So there's some great posing coaches across the country. But yeah, just if you're spending your time on your diet and your training and you're dedicating hours of your life to that, because everyone knows, even if your life's busy, you still have to dedicate a lot of time to training and diet. Just dedicate an hour a month, an hour, just to sometimes, just even if you think you're good at posing, or you think the things you need altering, it's only an hour, isn't it? Then
You wouldn't do any other sport without practicing.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go and play football.
That's literally what you have to
Like
do on
once a week
stage. You
and
have to
practice.
do that. You can't stand there and go, I'm the leanest, I'm the biggest, because they'll be like, what the fuck are you doing, you weirdo? Like you have to look good, and if you look good on stage, it's dead obvious. Like if you've ever been to a show, it's just dead obvious. As soon as they all come out and they all just stand there, it's like, wow. And then you see transitions and you see the stage presence. Like, okay, I'm looking at you now.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at you because you look the best. So yeah, learn your fucking poses, you penises.
Yeah.
So do you think people are like chasing like a bit of glory rather than, with these other cars? These
think I see a lot of
like say with the strongman, you get these people that have been doing strongman for years, and they're just doing the same comps and they're just doing the same events, and they're just coming away with a couple of trophies. Do you think
I think that's when you start
like
to become content, though, into
a bit of self gratification, like I'm a strong
that's when
man.
you become content with what area you've got to, and the thing is, a lot of the times with shit like that, people tend to know they're not idiots, or most of them aren't. They tend to get to a point where they go, for me to reach that next level, I've got to put so much more in. So do you know what? I've got enough people sat here cheering for me, sending me messages of support, fucking hanging on to me and all this shit, them tag-alongs. I'm happy here, I'm happy where I am. I know in my head I'll probably never be that guy.
Yeah.
So why would I chase something that I know I can't achieve? That's what probably their mentalities are.
So they're doing it more as like a hobby.
Yeah,
engaging
more
hobby.
as a-
To get that,
and to be a part of the culture.
Yeah,
and,
I think I see when you're saying about like there's a lot of pro cards being handed out now. So I definitely see, not all the time, there's some people that are good, but some guys are winning these pro cards and they ain't winning the pro shows.
No.
They ain't even coming close on a pro show. And it's like, is the fact that they're giving more out, like people are getting into the pro series like too quick? Do you know what I mean? Like people are making pro and then they're doing like a year and then they're doing the pro debut and they're just like
washing out.
Even though they look insane, even though they look fucking incredible, they're just these pros are just head and shoulders.
A pro used to be 30.
Yeah, 30's only
Minimum 30 years old before they'd even be breaking the pro leagues because of the muscle maturity and the time they put in. Whereas
That's a massive one, isn't it? Muscle maturity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we just had it with with Joe.
Yeah, with
So
Joe,
he's just competed in a very prestigious show. He's chasing his IFBB pro card. He's an incredible athlete. He's dedicated.
Big up Joe.
Big up Joe. He's been on prep for 9 months.
Big up Joe Pearce.
9 months this year. He's been on prep. And he tried something a bit different this time. So he dropped a little bit of size and focused on conditioning. And how old's Joe?
28.
28. And he was, and no one on stage with him was less than 30. And he said, I was just out muscled. They all had bigger, more mature muscles. And my conditioning was bang on. He said they were just bigger than me.
Did that lineup look fucking?
Yeah.
If you're not
And
seeing it, fuck me.
You know what it is, though, don't you? Still that fucking shit tactical backpack. Fucking good.
So yeah, it's kind of like, and I'm seeing like people in like the early 20s getting pro cards, but then like you say, they're not cutting it.
They're
in
not cutting on the pro stage.
They're not even placing
No, nowhere
on
near.
the pro stage. So
crazy.
again, it's like it's what I'm saying
So-
like before. Is it diluting this pro? Are people now getting it because it's a business
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be.
thing for them? Oh, I'm an IFBB pro, so I can charge you £300 a month for coaching now.
I think it is a bit of that.
And is it so? Is that then diluting the standard? But then when you look at like the Olympia standard, that's still like way ahead of what you're seeing in some of the like local shows. And they're like the best of the best. The guys that are
but
top
then you
lineup.
also throw into that genetics, etc. Yeah. It's a tough one, isn't it?
I think
It's definitely a tough one.
definitely do a show if you want to do a show, but put everything into it if you want to do it. Not just the diet, not just the training, but like what you have to physically do on stage.
The whole process.
And it's like it's gonna be demanding. So put effort into that as well. Obviously, put effort into everything. Don't just fucking half-arse it. So yeah.
So yeah, basically, don't be lazy in your prep. Cover all avenues.
Smash it.
Otherwise, Josh Keane will be on your case.
the prep pro coach.
The prep pro coach. Everyone just thinks I'm a prick. Failed bodybuilder.
You're not taking that title, bro. That's mine.
But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.